analysis. Begin with the disclaimer. Suggested entry and exit points are only suggestions, which are time sensitive and are for educational purposes only. Right, the Asian markets at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we had to do this before the Chinese markets, Shanghai and Hong Kong, before they opened, because we got a bunch of clients who go to bed at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So, so these guys want to listen to the RTMA so they can have beautiful dreams and they hear this stuff. Okay, so the Nikkei is positive, up 270 points. Like we said, Shanghai and Hong Kong still hasn't opened yet. Australia is up 14 points. Kospi Korean market is down to a flat 18.75. Asia Pacific market started traded mixed Monday ahead of economic data due from China, including fourth quarter GDP figures. That's very, very important, and it will come out later today. Economists expect data out of Beijing to underline slowdown in the world's second largest economy, in part due to factors like China's strict measures to contain the Omicron COVID variant, as well as problems in the property sector and sluggish consumption. Last week, U.S. investment bank Goldman Sachs slashed its 2022 forecast for China economic growth from 4.8% to 4.3%. Now we'll have to see really how it had performed in the fourth quarter. Very important figure, and it will certainly move the markets. If it's negative, then it'll move the markets down. If it's positive, obviously the markets will go up. So we'll just have to wait and see. Again, this is not the be-all and the end-all, so don't panic saying that the world is going to end again. All right, the pre-market figures show that the continued fall on Friday, 200 points as bank stock got hit. The Dow is still kind of flat, only minus 23. S&P certainly flat. Nasdaq minus 29. So not a lot of movement. I guess they're waiting for what's going to happen in China before the markets move one way or the other. And you really either have to spend tonight looking at later tonight, I guess Central Time at 9 o'clock, you will have the Chinese figures, or first thing in the morning before the markets open, you should pay attention to that. The TSX 10-day 30-minute chart, remember on November 16th, it hit 21,800. It's now sitting at 21,200. The weakness comes from following the release of U.S. economic data, including unexpectedly a steep drop in U.S. retail sales in the month of December. Retail sales tumbled by 1.9% in December. The sharp pullback appears to mainly reflect the ongoing impact of higher prices and supply shortages. And we all know that supply chain was a major problem. So here, if you look at the RSI and stochastic, it's oversold. And so we expect, depending what happens in China, how the market will move. So just be patient, wait. I expect over the week, during the week, there will be positive changes to move the market upward. Crude oil on Sunday, January the 16th at 7 p.m. Crude oil is still flat at 84.40. Brent, that is the European pricing, 86.46. Natural gas is up by slightly at 4.3. Robogas at 2.47. So natural gas is moving up simply based on the storms that you see. Oil futures settled high on Friday, boosted by supply constraints and worries of a Russian attack on neighboring Ukraine, pushing prices towards their fourth weekly gain, despite sources saying China is set to release crude oil reserves around the Lunar New Year. Lunar New Year is February the 1st, and the Chinese government certainly do not want its people to be suffering from gas price hikes or shortages. So they will release some strategic reserve then. Brent oil, as you said, settled at 159, high at 86.06. West Texas Intermediate, 83.82, but even at pre-market is 84.40. And both, according to the analysis, both Brent and US futures entered overbought territory for the first time since late October. So we'll have to watch oil prices. Oil prices will certainly move upward if the fear of an attack in Ukraine, of course, certainly the Iranian problem, and possible hoo-ha of China from over Taiwan. So those three areas can move oil prices way out of whack. Crude oil, 10-day, 30-minute chart. So you see an $8 increase again. Rose on Friday. Concerns of low inventory levels and supply concerns were both the reasons for it to move. And it hit a new 84.22 on the 14th, that is Friday. And that's, I think, gone higher than that now. So we'll have to wait and see how high it goes. But we expect it to remain above 80 for the next week or so. When you look at the energy stocks and you see all of those, we included CLG 22 stands for the crude oil price, CVE, IMO, SU, Enbridge, the index itself, CNQ, and CPG, and we see all of them moving a little higher, moving in the upward direction. So if you are holding energy stocks, you should be in a comfortable position. So pay attention to crude oil prices and you will do well. Suncor, again, on the January the 12th, it was at 35.99. It's still pretty close to that. We're seeing it move from around 32 all the way to 35, closer to 36 at one point. Move was based on oil prices. The technical indicators are flat. So really, you'll have to pay, if you own Suncor, you have to pay attention to crude oil prices. And as the stock moves around the 35, 36 range, you have to make a decision whether you want to take profits or you want to see it move higher. Enbridge, pretty much the same. On November the 11th, it was at 54. It's been sitting at 52 and between 49 and 52 for a while now. Technical indicators are really up and down. So again, oil prices it will be the key to look at Enbridge. But if you are not holding Enbridge in your tax-free savings account, you're missing out on lots of dividends, okay? They pay pretty decent dividends, so you want to pay attention to how you balance your portfolio. IMO on the 14th, 2022, okay, on the 14th, it was 51.19. It's sitting at 50.98, 70 points. It's pretty close to 20 cents off from the 52-week high. Says it intends to market its more than 260 hectare-acres of assets in the Montreal and Duvernay oil and gas producing areas of central Alberta. And you want to pay attention to the RTMA fundamental analysis side. They talk about this. They talk about selling of gas, oil and gas producing areas. You want to pay attention to that. It's overbought at this stage. And so again, it depends on oil prices. Exxon really is the main holder of IMO. So what they do, and they talk about it in the fundamental side, will depend on how IMO moves. Natural gas, okay, natural gas in October was at 60.60. It dropped all the way down to $3.80. At that time, early January, it was kind of mild. It wasn't cold, but the cold season brought it all up to 480, 426 right now. Natural gas prices on Friday settled slightly lower on a long liquidation pressures ahead of a 3-day holiday. By the way, Monday is a holiday in the States, Martin Luther Day, so you want to pay, it may be a slow day